Also, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I'll start with Preds before I go as well. Do you know that message I got from my friend in Uganda? And then Ollie came and told us that he had that exact same message a year ago. This guy's just been doing the same thing the whole year, for like a whole year. The grind never stops, I guess. I guess they're still children. You're right. Fair enough then. Probably a bot or shared account. Yeah, it said he was on his phone, which I found a little bit weird. Is a side hustle just trying to like run what I presume is a scam on your phone? Yeah, it was the London Spitfire server I shared with them. Yeah, I mean I might just leave it to be honest, right? Because I guess the server's like defunct. I never check it anyway. Save me the hassle of dealing with the random bots. Either way, drink for now. Drink for me, none for the Ugandan children.
No, you couldn't handle this. Everyone who battled me, they probably like you.
Wasting no time here. I'm back. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Have I updated the stream title? The answer is no. Confirmation of the rosters here. Versus Sakura. Did I remember to cut the VOD? I sure did. Whoa. Oh, okay. I'm pretty tired, but we're there, right? We're nearly there. He had Checkers stream open and he thought, and mine in the background, he thought he had a perfect British accent. Me too. It's alright. We're rounding it out. Honestly, expectations actually pretty comfortable, I think, for Sakura. I know I've said that about 2 of the previous series. That didn't seem all that comfortable for Supernova and all that comfortable for Quick. But in this one, I think so. I think the Sakura team is actually pretty good. Why did they these Vettori highlights? Just showing her drunk driving. I'm in a China highlight. Okay. No, they got relegated, didn't they? Got relegated. Wait, were they just showing the old Sakura team? Wait, I just clocked it, haven't I? Yeah, sloppy. NA production moment for sure. Yeah, maybe. But even if they were talking about it, it seems irrelevant. Like, show me highlights of the players we're about to see, you know? What tank works with Mercy, Zen? You gotta play ball, mate. Hog or Sig? Yeah. Alright, where are we? Extinction. Pick the map. Take us to Oasis. Wait, did they give up first ban then? Interesting. Yeah, they must have given up first ban. Sakura banned Juno first and a Hazard ban in response. And Unter Gambit, I know. Trendsetter, that guy, isn't he? Alright, Oasis locking in. Okay, so, yeah, uphill battle for Extinction. But we'll see if that translates into reality. It's going to be a Mercy Mirror, it seems. Maybe you'll get some inspiration here for what to play with Mercy. Alright, I'm getting ready to close the press and we can lock in for the final game of week 3.
Capture the objective.
Need peace to lock in and give you 20 points? That might be good for it. Onto the high ground early on is clear.
Initiating defense matrix.
Gonna function as a dive comp, really, the D.Va here. Looking to not really mirror the Orisa all that often, go over it. There's a Sombra in play for Nevermind as well, so once we get to the old portion, we have to bear in mind it's EMP turnings if they can counterplay. Cinnabar is down early, well, what the hell happened? Disaster start. Was anyone even with Cinnabar? Presumably Peace was over there as well. Either way, a big opening. Suzu has been forced out early as well. Nevermind already moved onto the high ground. Avoids getting detected. Can live, and Hitori is going to clear the rest of the point. Even a late kill onto X10. Pushes him back, and that'll be a first flip for Extinction. Maybe some late kills here. TP out available for Z, but only into a Javelin. Hitori, good for the cleanup now. And a strong start for Extinction. Scuffed, look at this. Kitsune rushed 82%. Alright. Significant advantage here, so Sakura have to be... Oh, not now. Boost, boost, boost. Hold, stream, hold. We've only got one game left. You can do it. So Kitsune rush advantage. Sakura are probably going to have to disengage this, really. But the D.Va comp with the Kiri Lucio should be good at disengages. A little bit of space onto the point, trying to force this one out. Beta out. Hitori looks aggressively in main. It's a 1-for-1 trade alpha point. They need to be careful not to concede the flip. They can't go too far. Hitori's going to come back and clear out clear. There's another word trap to avoid. Tries to boot the D.Va in, can't. Clear's going to get onto the high ground. Javelin won't get them off either. Now pressure onto the Lucio. Nenwai's going to take a lot. Kitsune rush has been forced, but Z now has it to mirror. They commit to this one. Hitori is going deep, looking for these backline trades, but can't find it. Nenwai is there, though, actually. Finishes the kill. Clear's taking a lot of damage. No self-destruct available for him. Extinction just going to be good for it. 2 fights in a row, it looks like. Yeah, baby D.Va Clear needs to find a way to reset. Mercy from Wub. Mercy from Wub. Will allow the reset coming in. And now Extinction have all the ults to just finish this 100-0. EMP's going to be up. Terror Surge beat. Cinnabar still 10%. Could be a big difference maker here. Sakura needs to be careful on this walk up. They can't get caught early by this EMP. They need eyes on that Sombra. Never mind. We'll just drop the EMP onto point. Will we even get, yeah, self-destruction? No. No self-destruct able to get off. The EMP does too much. Scuffed has been traded, though. Beat comes through from Nenwai. Only catches a couple of them, though. Cinnabar's beat is good for all. Well, all the remaining players. Terror Surge in as the Tempe fades, and that's 2 for Hitori on that. Huge conversion. Trades out from Peace, though. Is it enough? Peace is still anchoring the point as well. Avoids the hack, but recall is forced. It's a 2v2 on point. Lucio Tracer versus Lucio Sombra. They can stall it out for a while. More players are flooding back from spawn as Peace keeps it contested. Now it comes in. Nenwai finishes it off. They need another touch. They've got a bit of time with the flip, but they are flooding back. Clear. Can get the touch. Good for it as well. Amped through there from Cinnabar. Hacked up as well. Holds the line. And X10 with an important pick. Might be enough. Ball coming back from Hitori. Z is awfully low. Not enough Matrix just in time. Was all out of resource there. Clear. Lose their main source of healing, but have got control of the point. They can buy valuable time. They need Z back in this one. Hitori's going to come slamming through. Looking to clear out of the sky. Looking for the Freya. Slam comes through, and Nenwai finishes off Peace. Double boot through as well. Hitori's getting a lot done. Completely occupied this. Taking a decent amount of damage. Self-destruct on point. Boop and slam through. Problems here for Cinnabar. Peel coming through, and now can't get to the Mega Hitori. Tank advantage now. Clears into the baby mech though, as Kitsune rush from Scuffed is cleaning up on point. They need to keep it contested. The Flipper's gone the way of Extinction as well. Another kill from Scuffed, who's been on fire early on. Now confirm it. Great round from Scuffed.
Team kill. Score 1-0.
A fun fact, there are only 3 men in this match. Yeah, lots of Calling All Heroes representation here, right? That's probably where I know, maybe with the exception of, like, obviously, like, Clearsy and Hitori. Probably where I almost recognize more of them from. Obviously, Wub and stuff as well. Will I stream the ESL Vision versus Alcad event? Yes, this is the conclusion of the, I forget exactly what it's called, but the ESL competition, right? Because the winner of that competition goes to the last chance to qualify for the Esports World Cup. So I will be covering the finals of that. Is it Friday? Yeah, Friday. All right, Hitori going to keep the ball here. Very good map for it as we move on to City Center. Kiri, Lucio for both teams as well. Early scout onto the Sombra. Any TP away, but never mind. Just too slippery. Gets right on out of there. Backing it up. And Clear will reposition onto the dildo. Extinction playing very wide and quite slow, looking for Hitori's timing, but Sombra and Bull trying to line it up. Hack comes through onto Cinnabar, but no kill. Clear has come to respond to this, but might actually find themselves in trouble. The support's come to help Clear out of this one now. Pressure onto the Sombra, but can't force the TP. Peace looking for more, but they've conceded the flip during all of this. Peace has to recall, just needs for Blinks to get out of there. Hitori's looking for more, keeping this point contested. The flip's so important. It's so easy to contest this for a long period of time. You can't get the flip for free. Hitori trying to pressure the backline, harass, and move them out of position. They're keeping it contested all the while. Wubs swinging onto the high ground. Pressure onto Clear in the back. It's for Sombra who falls first, though. Still a good angle for Wub. Clear has got eyes on that, but it's so hard to close this distance as X10 is going to try and take responsibility for keeping Wub in check now. And they get the flip. Bit passive there for Extinction, especially with a Bull comp. I would have rather them just sort of try and extend that fight, and now they're in lots of trouble. Wub will get a trade before falling. Now pressure onto X10. Bull there, but X10 avoids for slam damage. Bowler available as well. X10's going to move back onto point. Should be able to poke the support out there. A quick double onto Scuff to finish them off. Now another one onto the Lucio. Nenwai is low, and X10's good for all of it. Clear will claim the final blow. And Sakura get their foothold and decent amount of ults for this next fight. Everything except for this beat is pretty close. Extinction not far behind either, but they do have beat advantage with the EMP a little bit slow, but X10 just gets caught up in nothing, really, and that's a really, really weak way to give away an opening. But Nevermind has died to a car or off the map. So I guess it's 4v4. Disasters for both teams. Kitsune Rush invested by Scuffed as they try and flip this one back over. Later one from Z coming through. Going to be traded on point. They're trying to double down onto Clear to force him out of mech, but Clear's got plenty of Matrix and Pocket. Will be fine. Keeps the point anchored for Sakura. Now Wub and Nenwai trying to make some moves and run into Cinnabar here. Cinnabar in big trouble. Won't be getting to their beat. Bowler as well. X10 in even more trouble. The boot through. So much damage on the Sakura lineup. The bomb over the top trying to kill the baby. Baby's 1 HP. Denies the remake there, Wub. And Extinction are right back into this. They didn't have to spend a lot of their ultimates for it. But thanks to Nevermind having a bit of a traffic accident, they actually have the EMP in the back pocket for this one. EMP, Bull, difficult situations to get the beat off, especially difficult when you need to charge the last 9% of this beat. Looks like Extinction are happy to play it relatively slow. They're trying to bait Sakura in. They want Cinnabar to come forward. Cinnabar is going room to room, trying to stay away from where this Sombra is. Slides forward now, trying to avoid it. Where is Nevermind? On top of the high ground, EMP onto 2. Cinnabar only just gets the beat now, so no chance to counter that one out. The beat comes in, 4v5. Going to try and win it. They're doubling down for kills. They're pushing so hard. Nevermind's kind of out of a fight, but Clear, he can't find anything. Scuffed has got away. No, Scuffed hasn't got away. Finishes it off, but they still need the flip. Hitori is looking for trades. TP away from Z, who is low after this one. Pressure on a spawn camp onto the Freya in Hitori's mind. But the bolts are doing a lot of damage, and Hitori has to run from the Freya. Tanks have to respect this hero. Force back to the point. Extinction still in control. Sakura not quite with enough kills to get the flip. And we'll get a full reset. 5 versus 5 onto the point here. Peace, pulse bomb attempt, looking for the backline. Clear and shut down, Nevermind. Scuffed is going to be forced to TP and Suzu, very weak. And Nenwai is coming back to peel. Peace has just got him contained right now. The backline has to keep giving space, and Peace finishes that kill. Looking for the Lucio as well. Nenwai's good to get back into spawn. They've lost a lot of people. Yeah, they've lost everyone else. Wow, Nenwai gets out. Sakura back on point, and it's going to come down to one last brawl here. Kitsune Rush is going to be up for both teams' minds too. Nenwai significantly closer to the beat. Could be the difference maker if we get that far into the ult exchange. Hitori getting the initial touch, getting marked out by Cinnabar, but Cinnabar might regret this. The rest of Sakura respond. The bowler is good as well. Mine's off in desperation as Hitori falls. Kitsune Rush is going to be mirrored now by Z much later too. Beat comes over the top. Self-destruct available for Clear if he gets in too much trouble. Freya Jewel. Bowler is good. Shuts down X10 so low. Wub will finish that kill. Can they take over? Clear still has the bomb and a lot of HP. Peace trying to respond. Recall has been forced. Wub continues to live these adventures. Trying to camp that trace, so they have to keep the touch going. Clear now has the Sombra in his sights. Oh, Wub clutched out one of those jewels, but it's not enough. Hitori can keep... Oh, she can't even keep him a touch. Just save for fantasy points, though. And we're tied up 1-1.
Score 1-1.
What even is this Wob emote? Wob head? Right. Hitori was on the EMEA version of Sakura. Oh, yeah. Seppu has you. He TP'd off? Wait, did I miss it? I was reading chat. It just can't be helped. It can't be helped. Alright, sorry. We'll be a little bit behind, but we'll watch all the action. Orisa versus Vadiva again. They're going to meet on this high ground, but should favour the Orisa composition. Clear is trying to hold for space and is actually winning that battle. Hitori completely separated. Spins back to her team. Tries to get out. Can't get out. Huge opening pick there. Now, that type of brawl on the high ground, you've got to feel good about that if you're the Orisa. But Clear wins that HP trade early, and Sakura maybe... Sorry, Extinction maybe just a little bit scared to peek. Decisive first fight for Sakura. Not too many ults to speak of. It feels like as we've gotten deeper into this Oasis, they're finding more and more times to punish Nevermind here. Have to be proactive with punishing this Sombra, clearing them, not letting them get the setups they want, not letting them farm these EMPs. Because the ult's so hard to deal with so often. Wub trying to poke his way onto the left-hand side right now. Fighting the Tracer. Bit unsure about which direction he wants to go now as they move up to the choke. Wub, eyes on this left. Trying to poke out Clear and force the point a little bit. Peace is going to make a money move, though. Just gets the kill. Nice and easy. X10 maintains her position on the high ground. Topped up and keeps swinging. There's a Sombra behind, but X10 has no interest in that. They're a little bit beaten and bruised, Sakura. But they've stabilized, converting that opening pick. Yeah, Ebola ready already for X10. No joke, eh? Kitsune rushes are going to be traded versus this. Lots of ults to come up mid-fight as well. Scuff's going to be moving on to the point with this Kitsune rush. Mirrored from Z to hold space. X10 is awfully low. Nevermind has killed that one. The power of the Sombra in that matchup. Now walking forward, Hitori's looking for it. Trying to trade onto the backline. Looking for this. Lucio has to drop from Mega. Will be out of the fight for a while, but Wub is getting it all done from the high ground. And while this Kitsune rush trade, Wub just took that high ground position with support pocket. And Wub gets it all done. Can they kill Peace late? Should be able to. Recall. Should be able to. Yeah, the virus burns through the remaining part of that HP. Hitori's actually underneath, but they should... Oh, they can't get her out, actually. Hitori gets traded for that disaster on the hold for Extinction. Sakura can go right now. Move, move, move. Eyes on the Sombra as well. No escape for Nevermind. Suzu comes through, goes for the EMP. The beat to save Nevermind as well. What hits for Bola? All the ults turn it. Extinction spend the bank to save that one. No tank, but they win the fight. Great save onto Nevermind there, who looked surely cooked. It looked like a reckless EMP that was just going to result in a trade. But the peel is there. Suzu and B. It cost them a lot, though, right? Cost them a lot. Cinnabar with a huge beat advantage now. Perfect answer to this Terror Surge as well if Hitori gets people caught up. As long as Velucio's not caught up in it. Now looking to swing and take the high ground again, but Extinction might just tempo in main while this happens. The point force comes through, pressure onto the backline. Clear has the self-destruct, is low though. Terror Surge just forced that beat out. They're all going to leave Hitori for dead now. They flood towards point with this self-destruct, but Pom kills Nevermind as well. They kill two on point, and you see the power of the Kiri Lucio. The Diva and Tracer are already on point, and as Hitori pushes aggressively with that Terror Surge, Cinnabar, Z, they drop the beat to survive. X10, then they just all flood forward to join their team on point. Retake and Sakura one fight away from closing out this Oasis. Pulse and Bola to do it. Extinction slightly closer to this Kitsune rush. Wub's going to swing towards the high ground again. No one marking this position, so Wub's going to get it for free, actually. A pretty passive hold from Sakura, but the Pulse Bomb is good. Bola out in that as well. And Wub has got the angle, but he's got no team left. Will hit the Bola, will trade X10, but Wub has so much more to do. Getting hunted down by Peace, and Peace should be good for this cleanup, surely. Bit of help from Z, and Sakura will take map number 1. You saw the idea there, obviously. Saw the idea there from... Whoa! Thank you, Time. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome, everyone. Just in time for some NA action. Hope you had a good stream time. Good? Nice. Yeah, just in time for the final match of week 3. And honestly, Sakura won the first map as expected, but plenty of fight from Extinction. Doesn't look like it will be a straightforward series by any means. Can we see points? You certainly can. You certainly can. Let me cash for Preds as well out of respect. Where are we going? Done with that one. What players do people have from these teams? What's the vibe? All right. Nenwai with +4. 4.5 for clear. Again, but Diva privilege, eh? Just gets credit for every elimination. 2 for peace. -3.5 for X10. Cinnabar, break even. -0.5 for Z. 0.5 for Scuffed, 4 for NY, 2.5 for World, -1 Nevermind, -0.5. Yeah, pretty low. I mean, pretty even, right? So pretty low scores across the board. How's NY got 4 there? Load of damage, decent healing, 18 for 5. Yeah, I mean, just significantly less deaths than everyone else, right? X10 on 12 deaths is actually, I mean, really, that's really high, really high. Now, yeah, I'll give you some negative points. You can see the damage difference as well, though, right? Like 5k more damage. I think they both played Freya the whole time, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan's just getting started, don't worry. NY has highest ownership at 200 teams. Wow. Lenny only got 11.5. Alright, yeah, not too shabby. Where are we going next? Suravasa next. Oh wait, I can fast forward a little bit, can't I? Because we went back for starting that first one. Ooh. But yeah, alright. Seems like this could go both ways this series. Preds, good shout. Right, between us all, we can get it through. Honestly, not to pat myself on the back, but I feel like no mods, I think, for this evening. I feel like I've done okay. I feel like I've done okay. Some would say it's just my job, and I should be able to do it, but, you know, I still did it. Thanks, guys. I'll keep patting myself on the back. So, a Lucio ban from Extinction. Sombra ban in exchange for Sakura. Obviously, they didn't want to play any of it at all. They'll probably be quite happy if it just becomes a Tracer or Genji mirror, playing to Peace's strengths. Starting some kind of conspiracy, are we, Okami? Alright. Some of your co-workers don't do their jobs so well. Yeah. What's this, San? Is it any good? What am I looking at? Average SSG match. What am I looking at? Pop on Vow. Okay, let's get some marbles going. Play. I'm Thanos. I see. I see. Did I used to play another game professionally? Yes, I did. I used to be a TF2 player. I guess, would you call it professional? If you spend more money doing the job than you make, is it professional? Probably not. It's a hobby, isn't it? It's a hobby.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Initial flashpoint.
Yeah, the fantasy site was made by Toby, who is one of the mods for the channel. So yeah, he made it, and it's pretty fucking tops, actually. So yeah, really, really happy with the work he's done. I hope he's proud of himself, because I'm proud of him. I think a lot of people are enjoying it, and it certainly added a bit of a new dynamic, though. I won more than $22. Liquipedia is fake news. Don't believe everything you read. I won more than that. I won 2 international competitions. Come on. Hitori will be playing the Hazards here. So yeah, Lucio Sombra ban, which means Nevermind is going to go onto the Tracer. Peace will be happy with that mirror. Hazard into Diva. Relatively even matchup, honestly, all things considered. Both tanks viable in this, but it's Peace with the opening pick in the backline here. Clear's going to fly in more aggressively as well. And wow, Wub tries to take some space. Peace has just cleared everyone out. Backlines will be traded across the board here. So now it's going to descend to a brawl, but the Diva advantage is going to be so good. One thing I will say about this Diva and Hazard matchup, while I think the tank head-to-head is quite even, I think the Diva's ability to get onto the Freya more consistently is a huge advantage here. So in theory, I probably do give the edge a little bit to the Diva composition. I know we've seen a lot more Hazard, especially in Korea, but I feel I can see the vision for Diva. Obviously, in Sakura's case, it is also just Clear's best hero. Peace already onto the backline. Pulse Bomb. It's onto the shield, blocked from Nenwai. Survives for now, and Hitori has deleted the backline. 2 picks already. Hitori's going to come back to point. Peace has to try and play their life. Gets to the Mega. But all that work from Hitori. Hazard, when Hazard first came out, there was a lot of talk about how good Hitori is on this hero and what an impact she could maybe make for the old Sakura back in EMEA. Didn't obviously work out for that old Sakura in EMEA who were renegated, but didn't stop Hitori looking impressive on the hero. Devastating there onto the backline. And while I said the Diva will be better into the Freya in some of these situations, maybe not. If you can land the slash, probably an easy target to kill. Nenwai dies early as Peace starts to force point. Bola comes out, but Clear is out of mech. Hitori is dove deep for this kill, but the baby Diva fighting back, trying to scrap and fight it for remech. Clear gets back into mech. How on earth has he managed this one? Full Matrix now will take down Scuff 2. Saves the mech, doesn't get demech either. Unreasonable pocket coming through to get Clear back into that one. Manages to survive. The downpour is out as well, but looks like nothing actually. Can't turn the kills. Nenwai is back with a rally, forces it out, but there's a bomb. Nenwai's 1 HP pieces all over her. Takes him down. Now cleaning it back up. Clear is back into mech one more time. Hitori needs so much help. Nevermind can take over the touch. Scuffed is going to rave. They want to keep fighting this Extinction. They won't give it up. They've got no choice. Rally back from Cinnabar. Bash is sent out there, trying to block a lot on this damage. Pieces on the backline. Clear and Peace sync up again to kill the backline. And Sakura going to be good for it in the end. Clean up onto the point. I crack what should be my final Pepsi of the night. Should be. Good win for Sakura there. Made to work for it. All the ults invested, trying to clutch it out, which means we're back to pretty much a close neutral with Peace hiding in the corner. Are they going to see them? Do they check their corners? The answer's no, but the pulse bomb's a miss anyway. Tries to force the kill onto X10. But cannot. Sorry, not onto X10, onto Wub. Pressure onto Scuffed, and Peace is still a menace. Peace has just killed Scuffed through everyone. Clear is there as well. And this Diva Tracer. The pincer, the hits. It's too much. Peace doesn't have a recall or a blink to get away from a brig. But the damage is already done. The early kill onto their main source of healing. Hard to recover from. And right now, it's just a Clear and Peace show. They just hit this backline aggressively. All of that. Something like that, yeah. All of that pressure. Also, what it does is it means Extinction are so busy and clumped up trying to peel for each other. It's just easy for X10 to have free reign to throw in bolts and do all this damage. Again, you see Clear on the left-hand side. Trying to set it up. They've actually conceded a bit of space back to point, so Extinction can start forcing the objective for free here. Clear comes to match it. Whipped back there. Mirroring the position of Hitori now just to keep this point anchored. They're trying to poke it out. Hitori tries to clear with her slash. Wub is flanking around looking for a kill, but it's Peace who gets the better of the Trace. Battle will flank again, just Clear and Peace. They find the timing to go. When Peace is ready, Clear comes knocking to. And Extinction just can't withstand these hits. The Juno Brig should be good into it. As far as backlines go, I can handle a D.Va, and this one should be up there. But not translating into reality at all. And Extinction needs to find a solution. Peace with the pulse bomb early. Wall from Hitori to help with the rotation. It's Nevermind in the back who's going to try and get the touch, but Peace has moved over to Mark. Now Hitori coming from the front. They do trigger the overtime. Clear has killed Nenwai though. Just completely scuffed was sort of peaking point. I don't know where it was. They're trying to play these wide and support these positions, but it's just making it easier for Peace and Clear. They're either stuffed in the choke or they have no space at all. And there's a middle ground there where you want to take a bit of space. Late kill onto Peace there. You want to take a bit of space between your Juno Brig. You know, you want to support your Freya taking these angles. But the Brig and Juno, they need to keep line of sight. They can't be too far. Because right now, Peace and Clear are just tearing this backline apart. 2-round lead already for Sakura. Rallies will be about even. Slight disadvantage for Cinnabar. But even before we get to the ult trade, it's more about these neutrals. The rally obviously will be a get out of jail free card in theory for Nenwai as this next hit comes in. Pressure coming through. Hitori's going to try and jump back, punish Clear, but Clear's going to fly away. Reposition onto point. Nevermind's trying to force that as it unlocks now. Rally comes through. Bash onto Clear. Just have a self-destruct. Pulse bomb in the back. It's a rally, chat. Great kill coming out there from Peace. Important one. Shuts down that rally to get in full value. But Cinnabar's been traded as well. So no rallies for either team. Peace is going to dart back out, but not being left alone by Nevermind. They trade that one out as well, and Clear has to reset, give the position, and yeah, Z won't be getting out of this. Might be a few late kills as well, but Freya's right there if they want it. They can maybe go. I think Hitori's not there with them. Nevermind's looking for it though. Missed opportunity maybe for a late kill, but they still get the first flip, Extinction. They have the Wraith in this next fight too. And Sakura might be forced to disengage. As we so often say, you can't just fight that rally into the Ray. Rally's going to be popped, bash onto Hitori, but here comes the Ray, and now Cinnabar is in so much trouble. Commits the bash aggressively there. If we're going to rally aggressively into a Ray, we've got to be hitting. We can't just be hitting the tank. We have to be hitting the Juno. We have to be hitting the Brig. We need to sort of play to one-shot this Juno before the Ray can really get its full worth. Clear is going to get walled off from spawn to slow down the swap. Clear onto ball, back to D.Va to get the soup. And now coming back. It's going to be a neutral. They have time for the touch. Clear's going to get in. Pieces behind already. And they choose to go forward. They're ignoring the point right now, Extinction. They want to kill the backline instead. Clear's coming to respond. But Pulse Ward's a miss from Nevermind. They've not found this. They try and deny the flip as well. They're trying to do it all. Hitori has found 1 kill onto the backline. Only a 1-for-1 trade. Nevermind is challenging this flip. Peace has to stay on point. They're all coming back to point now, but they're low Extinction as they come back. Peace's recall has been forced. The bowler is good. Kills Nenwai. Touch takeover is possible. X10 can take care of that. Now fighting for Juno. Can't quite finish. There we go. The take aim damage, explosion damage, just finish it. They get back onto that one, Sakura. And Extinction, they choose to fight forward. They choose to try and fight off point to give themselves a 5v4 while Peace is behind them. But the problem is, they sort of change their mind part way through because they try and do both. They try and anchor point as well. Oh, thank you, Ziad. Thank you, Ziad. Congratulations for yesterday. The Fantasy King, Ziad. Hope you had a good stream, buddy. Just in time for the tail end of North America. Welcome, everyone. Turn away for a second, but Sakura are scrapping it out even though they've given the flip. Ray from Z seems to be getting the job done. Too powerful. Peace will go down. And Sakura get themselves back on it. Extinction now have one more shot to keep themselves in this map. But the good news is, double support ult. They can get to this, even if they have to rally early. It's not the end of the world. Sakura here might be wise to try and just hit them early, but it's going to be Tracers running into each other, and this will deny Peace any sort of early setup. Peace is straight back with their team. Sakura now just sort of all positioned in main. It might be a disengage they're going to play for instead here. Couldn't get Peace into position. Now the bash comes forward. Rally still available for Nenwai. Shield very low. Walking through onto point now. Now the Ray comes forward for Rally as well. Both X10's got the bowler trade though. They're making it chaotic. They're all around it right now. Bash forward from Cinnabar. Good bash to avoid this Ray. The Ray goes forward. Cinnabar bashes right past it. And Sakura, great position now. The support ults have got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Clear now onto the backline. Here is Peace. And it's been happening all map long. It's been happening all series long. Clear and Peace will clean it up. And they absolutely give them the slip there. Disaster. Disaster for Extinction. Have to give some credit to Sakura. They made all the right decisions, right? X10's going to take a risk with a flank. Solo flanks with her ult. Nails it. They end up using both ults in response. And then the kite is really good. Like, they are forced to point right. So they actually kite. They just run right past them. Wave them goodbye. And that's now 2 for Sakura. Look at some points. Second map. Minuses for all of Extinction. The backline getting hit hard. Minus 7.5 and a minus 5 for Nenway and Scuffed respectively. X10 the big winner here actually. Fixes her negative from the map before. 4 for Z as well. 4.5 for Peace. Clear 8.5 as well. Good to be a D.Va player, isn't it? 13 for clear total so far across these 2 maps. Do I have to just go ram into the D.Va Juno Prig? I mean, I think it would be fine as well. I don't know. I feel like there's like... I think the Hazard's fine into it, honestly. Like, I don't think it's a necessarily favourable matchup. The problem is they're just getting obliterated by this D.Va Tracer hit every single time. I feel like that's like... it almost makes Hitori's hero relevant. Irrelevant. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Zomba just available this entire time as well? And there's no, like, busy with school or away or anything like that. With Ryan in Korea. Maybe they just weren't expecting the Sombra ban. Right? Because that's why we end up in the Tracer Mirror, because the Sombra ban came through. They just don't play Sombra at all. Oh. Look, thought that was really one of their most promising players last stage. They just think Nevermind is better. Yeah, I thought Zomba was one of the most promising. Yeah, especially on Tracer. Tracer meta, right? So can't complain. But I guess not. First map is in like week 1, map 1. Then hasn't played. That's a bit disappointing. Yeah, bun in agreement. Yeah, no, that's surprising. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, as you do like power rankings, I mean, it feels like it's happened in all regions, like maybe like more competitive. But like this Sakura team is actually really good. I think like I compare the average strength of stage 2 teams to stage 1 teams in North America. I feel like there's been a pretty healthy upgrade, especially in this middle of a pack, you know? Have Sakura and Supernova played each other yet? I feel like that's gonna be a really tight game. That's next week, actually. Yeah. She went 35-2 on her only map. Get her out of here. I did. That was ages ago, DeBees. You know, we're a long way past that. That was like my first time watching her play, I think, and it wasn't a pretty one. We've come a long way. Yeah, didn't know she was a Tracer 1 trick, and I was like, this doesn't look like the hero for her. Then, well, you know, I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. No, so the rosters so you get to see what map is picked, then you have to submit the roster, and then the bans happen. So you just sort of have to gamble a little bit. What do I know? What do I know? Yeah. Need to start using the Chrissy tech to get myself out of all of these opinions. What's the ding for? So yeah, so there's an element of anticipating what's likely to get banned, or maybe, you know, if you get to ban first, what you need to protect as well. All right, yeah, lose Juno Brig. So yeah, ban Kiriko. So they're forcing the Juno Brig again. Sakura are going to ban the Orisa. Presumably Sakura are just going to keep doubling down and playing Diva here, right? So Sakura have probably really got the better of these bans. Because the Orisa ban just means we're going to get the same matchup again, right? Hittori going to want to play Hazard. Could play Ram, right? Could just match for Diva as well. But there's other options. Maybe they do change something based on how that last map went. But it does feel a little bit like this is just setting us up for more of the same, which is exactly what Sakura want. Which is really not what should happen at all when you get to choose the map and you get to choose the first ban. They're going to play Mauga. I mean, maybe they've got a solution in mind, right? They've got something else. That has to be a presumption here. Benefit of the doubt for Extinction. A plan B. You think they're just going to Mauga? Okay. And the Diva's not a horrible matchup into the Mauga by any means either, so the way it's going for Sakura, I don't expect to see anything different from them at all. Hanbin Fury, when in trouble. When in trouble. When your back feels like it's getting pressed against a wall. Just turn into a giant Samoan, man. I mean, you were close, PK. We'll see if it sticks. Clear might. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes Diva at the end here as well. Maybe he's going to roll it out.
3, 2.
No, so it's going to be Hazard. All right, closing these spreads. Ooh. Closing these spreads. It's going to be Mauga from Clear coming through. Hittori sticking the Hazard. Juno Brig the stick as well. Peace on Genji as well. Nevermind's cloaked up behind the enemy team already, trying to get into position. Clear is going to have to look for this stomp timing. Can just play slow and pokey if they want. Just beaming him out of the sky. Just face checking this Hazard. And if a Hazard ever tries to go past you, now they've got HP advantage. Trying to go for the stop. Doesn't land the stop, but there is so much damage. The back shots there. No chance for Hittori. Looking for more, following this one up. Whoop's found a trade into the back. Whoop's found a second trade into the back as well, actually. Whoop is still alive, too. Clear is stuck running into a wall, trying to deal with this bloody Wub. They will do eventually, and they will clean it up. But really, you just saw the power there of the Mauga. Full beam that Hazard, not a lot of recourse. And Hittori will be taking the mirror shortly after that. So now as we hit this mirror, what this does provide is the Sombra can just play, rather than a lot of what we see the Sombra do in terms of set up flank timings, you know, get a hack on one of the backliners. Can do that with the stop timing, but also can just play to farm EMPs off this Mauga quite a lot. So options available. For now, Nevermind is just at that choke, farming that EMP. Onus a little bit more on Sakura to make the moves. Can't just stand here and wait for the enemy to get EMP, because you see Nevermind charging it much faster than on a couple of the previous maps. Playing it slow at the choke. Z and Clear are both low, so they've just been not even forced to disengage. Exit is just dead. Wob's going to swing forward as well. High ground position. Sakura have to try and is either die on point or reset. They want to try and reset, buy time for the spawn. But Wob already has this bowler. Peeked onto the high ground, a bolt into Z. Bolt onto the shield. Their Sidbar's taking damage as well. The stomp comes through. Clear is running. Sakura are just playing their lives right now. Bowler over the top to finish the kill. Thank you, Proper Dose, for the prime. Welcome back. And yeah, Sakura, they try to disengage. They try to reset, pick up their fifth player. But all they've done is stagger themselves out and concede meters for free. Will be lead going the way of Extinction, and that EMP is ready. Big ult fight coming up. Support ults, Blade, everything to be thrown into this. Cage's mid-fight with clears slightly ahead as Hattori swaps onto the Mauga later. Wait for Blade onto the Sombra. Oh my god, no, Peace. Not like this. Nevermind's just going to walk away. Peace saw the vision, but he couldn't see the Sombra. Cage on point from clear, cancelled by the EMP, and Nevermind's going to do it all. This is why Zomba's on the bench. I understand it now. Huge from Nevermind. Peace completely juked. EMP cancels the Cage. Outrageously good play from Nevermind there. The power of the Sombra. The power of invisibility. And that's checkpoint plus more. Was that all 5-2 from Sakura? Oh my god. Oh my god. Hattori now has the Cage, and this snowball could get out of control for Extinction right now. Stomp backwards from clear, trying to concede space. XN's taking the duel. 1-for-1 trade. They shut down Nevermind, but there's still the Cage if Hattori wants to keep going. There's the Cage. Sees for squishies. Stomp back into clear. Bowler into the Cage. It's a good combo. Z stuck in. Never. Torpedoes hit as well. And clear is in so much trouble. They did at least trade Hattori. So this means, wow, it'll be meters on the board for Extinction. They will have to eventually give some space once Sakura get their full team back into the fight, pick up Hattori and have another go. But because Sakura are still building back all of these ultimates, the ult situation is really not that bad at all. Bit of a Cage disadvantage, but Nevermind should be able to catch up the EMP to counter that Cage. And we always talk Malgametas, ult trades, layering, everything like this, but the EMP interrupts what is normally one of the most powerful ults. Peace finds Nevermind though. Bit of an opening pick on the flank out of nothing. Now deflect as well. Peace, good for it. Redemption for that Blade earlier. 2 picks on the flank, and they win it. Don't have to invest anything. And okay. Long way back for Sakura, but also plenty of time. Plenty of time. That's the good thing about losing so fast. 5.5 minutes to get themselves back into it. They've got their DPS ults to start in this snowball. Extinction are slightly behind on everything. But Extinction will get a fight here on the middle. Nevermind. Looking to catch up. The Blade early from Peace. Duke underneath there from Nenwai, but runs into more trouble. Will finish off. There we go. Will finish off Scuffed as well. So that's backline dead. They get the Blade out for free. Sakura do a good job of using just one of their, like, cheaper ults, aka not the support ults, really. Late trade onto Z is going to be annoying. Going to have to get Z back from spawn. Is also... Now we're getting into double support ult fight. Clear's going to have a significant Cage advantage here. And actually, because Nevermind really hasn't caught up on the EMP, thought would be much closer to that one. Going to match for point here before the checkpoint goes through. Committing to this position. Clear with the Cage coming out of that. Ray in response from Scuff. Z doesn't have it to match yet, but Ray will just beam through him if they can. They have to be careful. Cinnabar full shield is about to break. Nevermind using that one, though. The Ray does a lot, but it's still messy trades. Cinnabar is 1 HP. The Mauga advantage is too much in the end. And Extinction will stabilize there. It's a classic. This is actually a CX theory about you can take the Cage fight, but if you don't have the ults to win the fight in the Cage, you don't want to be in the Cage. When that Ray came out, I really would have preferred to see a Cage cancel and get out of here. And then, you know, use the rally to turn the fight or survive. Basically, force the Ray, trade your Cage for the Ray, especially when they're a Sombra team as well, when your Cage is going to be hard to use a lot of the time. Either way, they still have Ray advantage here, Sakura, but the EMP on top. One shot, though, but Z is going to get traded. No chance to Ray in response. Bash is good from Nenwai, but oh, so committed in, so also gets traded as well. Clear's trying to beam through. Pressure coming through. Wobb's going to drop the bowler to Finesse. He's found 2 kills, actually, as well. Wobb is low HP. P starts onto that one. X10's there as well. They've got the Mauga to deal with. Stop is avoided in the sky. They're trying to clean this one up, but X10 has pocket, so it's a matter of time. Dying on payload is Hattori. And Sakura, in many ways, it seems almost counterintuitive, but the EMP bash to kill Z, it denies Ray in that fight. Because they don't win it clearly, it's actually now allowed Z to just have a clear Ray advantage here. So now Hattori has Cage, Z has Ray. Does Hattori subscribe to the theory? Will she drop the Cage, cancel the Cage when the Ray comes out, and run away from Sakura here? Pressure onto the point initially. Bowler up top. Hattori's going to drop the Cage. There it is. Staying in the Cage. Getting destroyed. Come on, guys. Let's see a disengage. Cancel that Cage. Swinging in, and Clear is going to clean this one up. And a chance for Sakura to gain it. But an important trade from Nevermind. The messier they can make this, the better Extinction. but only one. Is X10 though. It's real, guys, I promise you. Oh, runs into the Sombra early. Peace can't find the kill though. But Sakura now past checkpoint as we enter the final couple of minutes. And a healthy ult bank to snowball this. Peace fighting onto the high ground. Forced out though. Peace dashes away. No, different direction than the kite from Cinnabar. Separation, and Sakura had ult to win this fight. But now a player down. Clear wants to clutch though. Judo needs to get inside of this. Will kite in. Nenwai dies. They're locking everyone up. The rally has popped as well. The ult save them, but they still trade Z's. We'll be able to gain meters off this, kill Hitori, keep the payload moving. One trade only, but it was on Z. Now Sakura, they won't get lead off this. They can get it close, but there won't be lead. They only have the blade in this next fight. And honestly, Sakura, this is difficult. They've got Ray, they've got Rally, they've nearly got EMP. If I'm Sakura, I'm doubling down on this. I'm going all in. I'm playing aggressively. I'm stomping onto the back line. I'm looking for a trade, but they're trying to play it slow. Clear's taking too much pre-damage fight. And then why is used for rally? They try and kite it. They can't afford for Clear to go down here. Slowing it down, backing it up. Another stomp backwards, giving even more space. They bought time, but it's still a Ray advantage for Scuffed and an EMP. Could come back to bite them. EMP available for Nevermind, looking for the supports, and there they are. Virus comes out, it's a blade from Peace to try and trade. One trade onto Nenwai, the Ray is out there. A second trade for Peace. They've made it so messy. Free for Peace, for EMP to shut him down. Does shut him down, but they have made this expensive. That is the big free ult for Extinction. That trade is outrageously good for Sakura. That blade has just made this map winnable for Sakura. Hitori is going to have the cage in this fight. We are into the final 40 seconds. Z is going to have Ray. X10 bowler. Hitori, if she drops the cage, the Ray will shred her. We've seen it happen twice before to both Malgas. Clear comes in for the stomp. It lands onto Hitori. Initial chunk. Hitori actually still needs 12%. Hitori might not even get to the cage. They might be in trouble before this. Hitori trying to back it up. Kills Cinnabar. Important trade for Ray. Comes forward. They're pushing forward. This is their moment to win it now. No cage, no response. They need to be careful not to trade. They need to clean up these final kills. The payload's moving away. What a trade from Scuffed. Is it enough though? Is it enough? Hitori's going to be rushing back. She's going to have to touch point unsupported. Just for Brig. She's going to be able to get it. Does she get another stomp in time? She's going for it for counter. Stop the C9. What a stop by Clear. Hitori going to get the cooldown back in time. And they're just going to win it right here and now. Heartbreak for Extinction. What a stomp 9. Oh, you could see the desperation on Hitori's face. Just needed that stomp cooldown back. But no speed ring, nothing like that. No one back in time. And Sakura secure the 3-0. And it all comes down to that Peace Blade. That Peace Blade, forcing all 3 ults, made it, like, so winnable. Not just winnable, but actually almost favoured to win. Yeah. A shame for Extinction, right? Because it felt like there was moments in this, like especially that Runasapi, where this series could have been taken like a little bit deeper in terms of maps. But really can't argue, I think, can't argue with the result. Sakura more than deserving. Player of the match wise, probably, maybe some of the pieces heroics were there. Maybe it was just Clear though. I mean, it's kind of, I want to give it to one of those two just because it felt like, you know, these Diva Tracer on this Saravastan we saw were absolutely brutal. So it's one of Clear or Peace. Take your pick. Point check. Good shout, good shout. Well, let me do the Preds as well while I'm at it. Let's see. Cash Preds. Alright. Oh, I forgot to hit generate. Point-wise, 2.5 for Hitori, -5 for Nenwai, 1.5 for Scuffed. Wubba Nevermind around 0. Big winner though is going to be Clear. 8 points, 6 for Peace, 3 for X10, 2 for Cinnabar. Break even for Z. He actually 8 deaths fair. Look, I mean, a lot of Z's deaths were just late trades, I think, more than anything. So I didn't feel like as impactful deaths, just more frustrating deaths. Total points, Clear is the big winner, 21. Peace 12.5, X10 9. 3.5 for Z. Cinnabar minus 0.5 and a 3-0. Oh, the life of a main support. The life of a main support. Better than Nenwise minus 8.5, of course. So there's worse places to be. Hitori at a dead even 0. Never mind, 0.5, 1 minus 1, Scuff
Right
minus
now,
3.
the newest member
an
of that
interview.
team. Clear, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Let's dig into this. Congratulations on a very convincing victory. Of course, you know, there's a big chunk of the roster which has played together already in stage 1. You joined them from Nightmare.
You guys know Clear
You
has
guys
no
also had some
enemies.
difficult matches to start this stage off with, going up against GK and Nightmare. Do you feel like the team has found its stride? Have they fully gelled, or are you still working at some stuff?
I think we're definitely improving week after
this
week,
stuff?
and honestly, the losses that we've had were honestly like really
Anyone
close,
recognize
especially
it?
for like being a new team compared to these like already established like really strong teams. So I think the more experience all these players get,
Oh, gaming
and the more we
wise?
keep grinding, the better we'll get throughout the season.
Oh, wow. You got all
I
of
did
them?
want to ask you one question, not really about the game, but how many mice are back there?
Oh,
How do you choose?
That's the full Final Mouse collection. That's every Final Mouse that's ever been made.
Oh,
yeah, that's cool, actually. That's cool.
But I don't really use that
Okay,
anymore.
I was
I got the Gengar mouse.
As if he has all of them and doesn't use
that's
them.
kind of clean with it. I like that.
The best Pokemon.
Back to the
also.
game,
Thank
though.
you.
Obviously, you prefer the Diva, and like the team obviously works very well around that. How do you find this meta in tanks? Because a lot of teams kind of favoring Rush, like with the Orissas. There's been a lot of like Ramatra play as well, even a little bit of Hazard. How do you find your own like position in the meta, preferring this Diva style?
I think Diva right now is really strong. I know that obviously like Orisa, Juno, Brig is like the most favorite comp, and I can see why, but honestly that character is just like beyond boring. So I'm trying my best to avoid that character at all costs. And with the ban system, it makes it pretty easy to do that. So yeah, if you're not an Orisa fan, then come support Sakura, because I'm not an Orisa fan either.
Well, I was certainly a fan throughout that series. Now, you got
was
two
like a
match
code
wins here
for
for
I lose when I
Sakura
play Arista.
throughout stage 2, and obviously that's going to give you a bit of a bumper when it comes to not getting relegated. So I feel like you can kind of firmly, like, you know, look towards some of the better teams in the region here. What do you feel like you have to improve
yeah, they have
on
Zeb,
to
don't
really
they?
take it to some of these next teams, you know, looking at Nightmare,
Come on.
GK, teams like
Yeah,
that?
that's a great-
What's next
I
for you
forgot,
guys in
because
terms of
we've not
improving your game?
I think we just need to become more clutch. We need to gain the clutch gene. Like, I think we did a lot better with that today, like clutching out fights where we like down 1, down 2, or like had a disadvantage. So if we can keep doing that, that's really the key to beating these better on paper teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of highlight-worthy performances from you and the team where we definitely see the clutch factor there. Now, also, I believe you are our player of the match, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Absolutely dominated on the server
Yeah,
last
fair,
week as well.
fair.
It's been an absolute joy to see you and the team popping off. Clear, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck in your upcoming matches.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, deserved enough.
Great to hear.
Saw Big Z in a block yesterday. Still deadly. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, the Diva worked absolutely fine today. No problems. Also won the Malcolm Mirror. A bit closer, but won it. But yeah, Orisa meta, Zeb on the roster. Like we saw, I'm going to forget the name of the team. What was the roster called at the time? But when Zeb got to play, when he was an Orisa meta last year, and Zeb got to play, and that team just grew. Citrus, exactly, yeah. Citrus just became like the giant killer almost. You know, just taking down all these teams that were supposedly going to be better than them, crushed them. Became like a real like big bracket runs for Citrus in a lot of places when Orisa was better. All right. Unrelated to everything we've just seen, I've just got another message. And this message says, "Yo, it's Kev. Is this Mike?" What? Not Mike. But is it Mike? It's not Mike. It's not. His Kevs are looking for Mikey A. Not Mike. Kev's looking for Mikey, eh? Signed to TU. Alright, here are standings. Nightmare on top. Played a game more than GK, obviously. So a little bit of a buff. I just said not Mike, and that's just been the end of a conversation. Which like kind of just seems like a bit of a conversation ender, doesn't it? Are you the person I'm looking for? Not at all. Alright, see you later then. Alright, schedule for next week. Shall I look at let's do a little bit of a preview of next week, and then I can get myself off for some rest. Start with Korea, because it's going to be the final week of Korea regular season next week, before we move into the seeding and the playoffs. Let me unmaximize it for you so you can see. And we'll just go down to the bottom. So, lots to play for still. Really all up for grabs over in Korea. It's going to be AG versus Pokerface, Crazy Raccoon versus Zeta, and that's going to be a cool fixture. Falcons versus Vesta. Let me just turn this down a touch. Yeah. T1 versus Old Ocean. Meh. Zeta versus AG. So I think, let's highlight the good ones. So this one's going to be cool. This one's going to be cool. Zeta versus AG. Pokerface versus Onside could be like a close scrap. Same with Vesta, Old Ocean. But then we're going to get Crazy Raccoon Falcons as well. So really it's the middle game of every day next week in Korea. Going to see good matchup every day. The Korea schedule was felt pretty well balanced this year, actually, in terms of we get a big scrap, a big fixture every week. Obviously, it's been helped by like a lot of teams sort of stepping up in these situations. But let me keep it this size so you guys can see. And then week 4, Genji versus TM. I think we're in very hard for Genji territory. TU versus Peps. If this one isn't the upswing for TU, then I don't know what is. Alcatia versus Quick. Should be Alcatia in the bag. Yeah, and that Sunday EMEA is not looking all that interesting, is it? I think VP should smash VP. We should have said yes. Now we never know what he needed Mike for. Quick is good for 5. You reckon? I reckon this is the toughest test based on like recent form. Then North America. Do we have? Okay, there's some good stuff here. Sakura versus Supernova. That's gonna be a good game. GK versus TL, also a good game. Nightmare should be strong favourites here. SSG versus Supernova. Honestly, feels a little bit like Supernova can get dragged into some stuff, right? And then GK versus Dildux. That's a pretty good looking GK double, right? With how good GK are. Do I need to sign a GK player? Maybe I need to sign a GK player. Who you got? I was going to get Sugar Free. Do I just kill Infected and get Kufa? Sign Willy? No, not for the Alcatia game. What happened in the Ultimates game? Is it worth watching back? No, not at all. It was just... it was honestly one of the most disappointing performances, I think. I think I've seen in a while. I feel like tanks are scoring so highly, though. It might be an invest in Kufa. Alright, I'm not going to make my changes now. I'm just going to... I'm going to test some math. So, because what I wanted to do... Okay, let's... Do I need to change grapes as well, actually? He just Supernova have SSG? Yeah, probably, right? Okay. Wait, let me refresh it. Log in. Oh yeah, are you around now, Toby? Someone was talking about if you could change the... or increase the login. Like the amount of time it keeps you logged in. I don't know what the technical term for it is. 3-2 loss I watched last week. Just felt like TU just outclassed on a lot of heroes with the current meta. I don't know how you feel. Legitimately felt like the worst possible meta to some of the guys. Yeah, to a degree. But they played almost exclusively Anna Winston today, which Anna Winston Tracer, and Freya of course for Kai. So it really should only be Heesung flexed around, right? So we saw Diva and Ball and all of this, but should all be in the wheelhouse. What was I gonna say? Can be sorted. But they played heroes that should be good from today, but it was honestly one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Maybe that's stuff. I mean, honestly, whenever somebody says something like that, I always feel like hyperbole. But this one felt truly sort of devastating. Just sad. Just sad. Do I keep Jwoo? Who did? Alcad versus no, sorry. BP versus Frost Celsius. Actually, I can keep Jwoo, can't I? I can keep Jwoo for one more week. Where's Kuffer? Where's Kuffer not scored more points before? Say I add Kuffer. 15 for a support? Fuck's sake. It's because Kuffer's 24. Where do I go here then? It's a really good week for Jwoo, so I could make Jwoo someone cheaper. I don't want to sell Rocket, right? Like, do I want to sell Rocket? Nightmare just have Extinction, then Dildux. I want to sell Rocket maybe week 6, right? Maybe week 6 is the one. Kuffer and Jwoo's too greedy. Yeah. I mean, what's the alternative then? I want someone from GK, right? Wait. Let me recook. GK. Oh, this is going to be too greedy as well, isn't it? Maximum number of supports. Hold on. Yeah, I hate grapes. Oh! Thank you, Apply, mate. Hope you enjoyed the action tonight. I hope you scored well on fantasy, but not as well as me. I didn't score that well, so I'm actually preying on your downfall. Did I get any points? I think I still got it up, Z. 3.5. Which a bit underwhelming, but poor old supports. You're ahead of me by 30 points, I believe. Fuck, wait, let me open it in another tab so I don't lose my potential changes. What, my 298? Yeah, I think this is a bit lower than I started the week at. I've been screwed over by Infected. Yeah, lots of people have been fucked up by Team Liquid. Wait, is that Bun there I scrolled past as well? 269. Nice. 177, yeah, you're ahead. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Willis has done great work. You know, that's like a pretty good looking team. Heesung Belief fucked me. Was Infected also over me? Yeah, I mean, you know what a red flag is? You know what I should have looked this up first. And Infected is ahead of me. But do you know why Infected is ahead of me? Because he's not got himself in his bloody team. He's got Painkiller in his team. Fuck's sake. Actually need to investigate this, don't we? What Infected, Team Liquid have an unexpected 3-0 loss against Nightmare. Infected benefits immensely on Fantasy. All right. Someone call Esic. Someone call Esic right now. Does the math not work for me, Amari? Let's look at our... This is our top 10. Arthur doing very well. Newly crowned mod. Ondra. Farting Menace 223 looking good. Look at the Willis here. You think I can't make it work, Amari? It's like a... Yeah, it was actually a Willis world. Dip here as well. Dip doing well for some people. Sugar-free holders. Lubda's actually been scoring quite well. Like, quietly really well in a lot of these. What's happened to... Wheats is down to 14th. Painkiller in 21st. Look at this. Painkiller. Painkiller. Also better at Fantasy. Hunter down in 28th. Hunter's probably obviously having an SSG player in his team. I'm thinking Ramon for next week. I was considering it, but it's like... Because I really want a GK player, because the double looks really tasty. Because if I go to fixture like GK, if they have Dilducks, which is Slam Dunk, Team Liquid, a great chance to win that one. And they're the only team with a double as well, right? So it seems such high value to force one of them in. Because then if you get GK in for this week, week 5 they play Extinction. So that's a slam dunk. Maybe week 6 you might want to consider, but still a good chance against Nightmare, you know? Oh wait, Supernova do too? Ah yeah, but Supernova could also... They could lose both in these games as well, you know? Could lose both in these games. And that's the scary bit. That's the scary bit. Because I wanted to replace Infected, because I'm pretty worried about Infected going into this GK match as well, you know? But because I could sell Jaywu to recoup some costs and like redistribute them to like Admiral or something. But the problem is then I have to keep Infected. Because I want to sell Grapes, I want to sell Infected. Which means I need to keep Kellex, Rocket, and Jaywu. I mean, Kellex and Jaywu are absolutely fine. They've got great fixtures. You think they'll look better in that game versus Nightmare? I know, it seems to shift each week what the best picks are a little bit, you know? Like, I feel like hit scans have done much better this week than they have done. Previously, I always felt like Flex CPS were hard carrying, point-wise, but it now feels like the sort of level of Freya is going up. And the Freyas are just, like, hard carrying. Like, I don't know, I guess I can look, can't I, for, like, CPS, round points... So yeah, what's this last points? Yeah, 25 for Rocket. So I guess he's still top, but then it's like hit scan, flex, hit scan, flex, hit scan, flex, hit scan. That's actually pretty even now. I've actually looked at the data. Flex, hit scan. Okay, yeah. Never sell Rocket. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, because if I reset my roster. Like, it has Infected versus GK, and then Supernova has a double, but it's like a rough, especially for a main support, that's a scary one to hold. I mean, Grapes did well. Look at that, 13 points. He's got to have been the highest scoring main support, right? Yeah, look at that, 4th highest score. Ironically, I had a 50-50 decision between Yoham and Grapes. And I thought Grapes would be more of a differential because loads of people would go Yoham. But Yoham actually outscored. Look at Frothy Philly racking it up here. I think it is better to get 2 flex supports, but sometimes, you know, the budget is what the budget is. You know? So sometimes, with this one, obviously with this one in particular, where I could have afforded Yoham, I just really believed loads of people would go Yoham, so I was trying to differential it. Was Yoham ownership still so low? Maybe I've misinterpreted that. Then. How on earth do I get a GK player onto my roster? Who should it even be? Wamone? Do I keep grapes? They're not way cheaper, but they're all slightly cheaper. Do I kill Jwoo? But Jwoo is playing Frosttails next week, right? Right? Do I kill... Is it outrageous if I kill Rocket? It's hot, right? It's hot. Quick games are not good for points. Yeah, but what they are is they're safe points, right? In like, you know, Virtus Pro versus Frosttails, I'm just guaranteed positive from Jwoo. Can I get Wamone and... Do I double GK? I've even got 3 to spare. If I just accept that Grapes is going to have to play like a tough double. And then I just need... Like, if Grapes can just break even or like minimize the damage... Yeah, I've got the budget to take lethal instead, so I could go either way with it, right? The problem is, what I was kind of thinking is to take sugar-free after next week. Because SSG have a bad fixture or a tough fixture. Where are we? No, they don't actually. Oh no, this was their last tough fixture, right, against GK. So now all of a sudden it will be... yeah, Supernova for them, Sakura for them, and then Extinction. Should be like 3 winnable games in a row. No more matches today, all finished Robin Van Persie. Hope that's the real Robin Van Persie. VPTM could be a map 5. Yeah, TM have quick as well, right? So TM, honestly, if you... Who do I get from TM? The problem is lots of TM players move about, right? Could I... I'm thinking more for week 5 here, but I'm trying to future plan it as well. Yeah. Because if I get double GK, I'm just happy with it as well, right? Because where's the double in week 5? It's TM. So I could... Where have I going? Who does Supernova have in that week? I've got too many tabs open. I don't need that one. I don't need that one. And this is the leaderboard, right? I don't need that one. Who does Supernova have? Team Liquid? Fuck. So I kind of really need to get move Grapes on by that point, right? Because I was thinking like Grapes to Simple, but it doesn't quite work. What a great picture for Simple as well. Fuck. This is going to need some more thinking. Oh, wait, is that for Team Liquid 6? Dildux and Sakura. Fuck, that's a juicer. That's got to be one of the best looking doubles going, right? Does Supernova beat Sakura? I think so. I'd probably give Sakura the edge, but I think we're in like pretty 50-50. But is it worth? Because Team Liquid versus GK, so I could risk losing more points on Infected. And it feels bad as well because it's like a high cost. High cost, not huge reward. And then it could be the same next week. But then he plays Supernova, followed by Sakura, followed by Dildux, like week 5 and 6. I mean, I could just swap Kufa back to Infected, right? Wait, what if I... Okay, so Grapes is back in. So then this is for change. Let me zoom out a bit. So I can see the whole roster. So this is for change for week 4. And I go all in on GK, right? I hope Grapes breaks even. He does technically have a double, so hopefully it's at least like just even anything. Just even a 0 would be really fine. And then Kufa becomes Infected, right? And my budget is 3, but Infected is 1 less from Kufa. And then this goes to 4, so I have 4 budget, and then Grapes becomes Simple for week 5. Right? And then my week 5 lineup would be Infected, Wamone, Rocket, Kellex, Simple. So let's look at the European ones first. Kellex and Simple. Alcatia versus Peps, TM versus VP, and TM versus Quick. Sounds good, right? And then North America, Wamone, Rocket, and Infected. So Team Liquid, GK, and Nightmare. And week 5 will be Team Liquid against Supernova, GK against Extinction, and Nightmare against Dildux. Perfect. It's all coming together, right? It's all coming together. And then week 6, I have Infected. Right, I can actually just update it, can't I, you know? And just don't, for the love of God, don't accidentally press submit. Where was I going? So then I would have Infected back, basically. And then I would also have Simple. And this works budget-wise as well, right? Yep, perfect. And then as we go into week 6, I want lots of Team Liquid. And the people I don't want... Maybe this is actually a Cell Rocket situation, right? I don't have to. This could be like a real barn burner. Simple scores very badly. Would Astro score better? Astro plays for Juno a lot, right? Maybe I can just look, can't I? Let's see. Total points. I mean, Simple slightly ahead. I mean, these are just also bad scores all around, right? Oh, wait, I can see it sort of one by one. So, Astro... Oh, is this map by map? I'm looking for... Yeah. Oh, wait, no, this is... Oh, this is... How far back does this go? Oh, this goes quite far back, right? 5.5, 10, minus 15 against Alcad. Fucking hell, Daniel. Fucking hell, Daniel. Simple, on the other hand, minus 12 against Alcad, then 9 point... See, I feel like Simple's actually... Yeah, Simple's slightly better. What's that? 15.5. When I'm thinking of the games we've actually been winning. And 16. Yeah, Simple's slightly better. There's not a lot between them, though, when they are the same cost. Yeah, I see what you mean, Mari. Because who do I want for week 6 then? So Infected is fine. Wamone's fine. The problem is, I think it also just feels a little bit bad spending money on supports because the scores are always a bit rough for them comparatively, you know? Yeah. I think it's like, it's not stellar scoring by any means, but I think as far as supports go, it's probably a little bit more, you know, like top scoring support last week was 16.5. Anything around the 10 mark is probably really okay. So then, so this is my week 5 roster. I want to double down on Team Liquid, right? If I can. But I've not got a lot of budget to work with. Is TM have Frosttails, and that's fine. Alcad have Genji. So actually, I could just keep the backline there. And then it's just, do I change Wimone and Rocket for anybody? I got 21 and 20. I could get Knife in, but that feels gambly, doesn't it? I have Renko. I think it's scary, but they do have a double. So it's like, it's big risk reward, right? It can go both up and it can go down. Yeah, I mean, I can just, I mean, I have Infected, right? Is there anything else that is like a slam dunk fixture? Because GK have a tough game, right? So actually maybe, I mean, I could replace both DPS now, right? But I have 41 points for 2 DPS, and then I just pick nice fixtures. And I just don't take the gamble on GK Nightmare, right? I expect the game could be close, it could go either way. And instead of, since I sort of have 2 transfers to spare, I just try and hit good players for this. So Team Liquid have great fixtures. So do SSG. All of those quite expensive though. TM have a really good fixture. But a little bit tricky who's going to start. Alcad have a pretty great fixture. So could it just be like a checkmate? Flips is so expensive though, 24. Well, that's why, because originally what I was thinking of Mari before this was I was thinking of this week selling Jwoo and just getting sugar free, just because these fixtures get really good, right? And he's just going to play a bunch of Tracer and he's going to do great type thing, you know, like just point farm. And since I already had for 25 invested into Jwoo, it could just be really fine. But let me run through this example. So let's say if I went checkmate and then I've got DPS, I've got 20 to spend. I mean, I guess I could keep Rocket, but yeah, DPS all kind of pricey, right? Yeah, because this is my week 6 roster I'm planning now. But the only other way to do it, let's say if I did want someone from Team Liquid, I have to get Tree right, because I feel like Zero and Knife are just scary ones to get. So if I get Tree, I have an 18 DPS, which is, I think, going to feel pretty awful. Maybe. Unless I just go Quick, right? Who do Quick have again? Peps? I buy the dip. Thanks for the first time double donk. And bet on Quick against Peps. I swapped out Checkmate for this week because I feel like he doesn't score as high as I want him to. Yeah. Yeah, I decide a lot of the price changes, so what I could do is also manipulate it heavily in my favor. Why didn't I think of that before? Aggressively cheating. Grapes to 100, and then I sell grapes. And then I can just buy whoever I want. Obviously, still only 2 at a time, but yeah. Alright, here's... Let me reset. Alright, counter theory. Infected, dead. Ziad in. Grapes gone. But I have 17 to work with. Does that open anything up for me? Do Peps have anything good? Or Gen G? Is there such a thing as a good Gen G fixture? Peps have TU. Which good. Peps versus TU. I think Peps, honestly, you guys are going to tell me I'm wrong, but I think real chance TU smash him. It's gonna sound like a hot take after today, but I think they smash him. Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a good fixture. Anyone else got tasty fixtures here? Nightmare. I think I'm just out of. I could get Lep back, right? Just get Lep back. Nightmare are gonna play Extinction. I get Lep back. They could, but they could also get smashed. Yeah, but that exactly right. You're not wrong, but that makes the fixture really volatile. And if you end up on the wrong side of a big loss, like the Team Liquid situation this week, right? You just get hit really hard score-wise. So I could just go back to Ziad Lep. I mean, I'm just double Alcad, double Nightmare, and Jwing. But I miss out on GK through doing this, right? And that's where I suffer, is I miss out on GK. But Jwing should do really well against Frosttails. And then what would I want for week 5 again? Sorry, TM. But is there a way to get to TM from here? TM's always such a weird one to gamble into because Quartz doesn't score that well, but he's guaranteed to play. VP have TM this week. Yeah, so maybe, and then week 5. So this is week 5 in theory. This is when I go to... Where are they? This is when I hit the sugar-free button. And I even have a budget in the back pocket. The Nightmare on week 5 have Dilducts, which is slam dunk to keep both of them. Rocket's at 20. But that's really fine. That's going to be a slam dunk. So I actually maybe I need to do 1 transfer. And then, for week 6, is there a way to get... How many Team Liquids can I get in? 1 budget in the bank. Could I sell? And this is week 6 hypothetical. I get Tree. And then I am too short. Who has a bad one yet? So I also want to get rid of Lep for week 6. So I need a 14 support? Who do the Ducks play on week 6? Team Liquid? Fuck. Fuck, it's just too greedy, isn't it? It's just too greedy. Yeah, but the problem is, in this week 6 hypothetical, I want to get rid of Lep because it's a GK Nightmare fixture. Do I just get Squid? Yeah. It'll be like minimal returns, right? But it's probably safe. Because maybe he doesn't play. Who knows by this point, right? But if he does play, it's probably a pretty safe one. So basically just do a 4-man. I wonder if anyone's done this, right? Where they basically... Because there's some 10 cost players as well, right? The ones we just don't expect to, you know, like, yeah, like Scissors, Chime, Snowdrop. Where they basically just sacrifice a spot to a person they don't expect to play. And then farm then just like spend more money elsewhere. I'll have inside. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the answer will be at the time, but I, in theory, will have inside info. But I think it's fine either way, right? You know, where it's like, if he doesn't play, it's just no points, but I rely on Ziad, Sugar-Free, and Tree to hard farm for me. If he does play, he's actually probably likely to get a positive, or at least a small return, you know, even if it's only one map. So there's no damage, but possible positive. Whereas everyone else in that price bracket is high risk. You gained money, Winstanners? Beautiful. Profit in the bank. Okay, so I've sort of gone through 2 viable versions here, right? 2 viable versions for like my last 3 weeks plan. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Let's go to the homepage. Who was the top scorers? This is final now, right? I know there's a couple that we still need to figure out from like DCs and stuff. But yeah, weird top scorers here. Yeah, well, in theory, when I was originally thinking about it, the downside of picking a player who doesn't play, because you can do this in fantasy Premier League, the football thing as well, right? The cheapest players are like the kids who never really play, who are just technically on the roster but never really feature, on the bench at best, but never even come on for a minute. And these players will all be super cheap. But the problem is, what they'll do is score you no points, right? So the downside is you have to spend money on a player that score you no points. But what you get in that is it's super rare to get negatives. Whereas here, it's actually pretty common to get negatives. Basically, if your team loses the game, you're really likely to get negatives. So that's where it makes more sense in the Overwatch fantasy than it does. But if we remove the negatives, yeah. Because I don't know what your memory is of this, Toby. But I swear when we've run like sort of, I guess, more trial versions of this before, negatives were a lot rarer. Even though we use the same scoring system. Like, my memory was we would occasionally have negatives if a team got smashed or something. So I don't know if it's just the nature of this meta is leading to more deaths, etc., etc. It wasn't exactly the same scoring? I thought it was. I don't remember changing it. I don't think we made any changes. Is less this time around since we're doing integer division now? What do you mean, sorry? Explain it like I'm stupid. Like a round down situation? It cuts off excess stats, like only up to 2,000 healing gets 0.5, 3,900 also 0.5, but then 4,000 would be 1. I see what you mean. Yeah, because there was a person who was like, fuck, Ryan was 50 damage off getting me another point. I see. Yeah, I think how I would want the scoring, and we can maybe run a few models with this, like how I would want the scoring to work in reality. And I'm not going to talk about as in like what gets scores. But what I would want in reality is, let's say we have a 50-50 game, right? Is that for a 50? Let me think about this. So I think I want negatives to exist, right? But negatives should be rare. Like, so this is the 0 line. Negatives to be rare, right? And then if you have like a normal map or something, maybe you're in like the 5 to 6 range or something. And 5 to 6 is like a pretty meh score. And then if you have a decent map or you win, we're in like, let me get rid of that, like a 10 to 15 range or something. And then maybe if you have like a pop-off map, we're in like 20 plus range, if that makes sense. Because I just feel like actually, if the numbers are bigger, that's really fine. If you know what I mean, because big numbers are just fun. So like I would rather it like we just move the whole thing up, you know. So we only go a little bit down, but we go further up. So people can have like 30 or 40 point weeks or whatever or something. Have the option to swap from elims to final blows to score something saying. Yeah, but I feel like the problem with final blows is I feel like it. I mean, I guess we get it a little bit with elims with Diva, right? But certain heroes get like, yeah, Tracer and Reaper. Like if you ever do it in a Reaper meta, Reapers get every single fucking cleanup kill, and Reapers just become broken. Maybe fuck supports as well. Yeah. Because the thing I feel with Final Blows as well, right? Because when I did the data for like on London and British Hurricane, it was Final Blows was always useless, right? Because it's almost RNG who gets the last hit, really. Yeah, because in my head, what I was thinking, and obviously we can use the data from this from this stage to test some like potential other models. But I was thinking something like either just reducing the death penalty to 0.5 point per death, or just increasing, like maybe you get a 0.5 point per 1,000 damage or 1,000 healing or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because I know that, especially when we first launched it, people complain about the scoring, and I was like, yeah, like I agree with you. Not going to change it partway through. Everyone scored the same, right? So everyone can look at the scoring, everyone can understand it. So it's the competitive integrity holds, even if some of the scores aren't so satisfying, you know? Because I think there is this, in terms of like user interaction, it feels a little bit rubbish when the numbers are so small. You know, like when your team wins a map and your player gets 3.5, it's a bit like, oh, fuck's sake, you know? Like, I don't think it doesn't feel like it quite matches. Like, I've just watched the game, I've watched my team, I've watched the player win and seemingly do quite well in the match, and then I've got 3.5 points. It feels like there's like a disconnect there between what you're seeing and how it's scoring. And that's never going to be able to be perfect, right? Because stats don't equal output. But, you know, I want, like, if all the numbers are slightly bigger, I think it all feels a bit better. Yeah, there's not a lot of depth with the stats, really. You know, whereas in, like, football's a good example where, like, it's pretty RNG, you know, because anyone can score type thing. was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought. But it translates quite clearly, right? Because I think, like, when I watch football, right? If I watch football and I have Ollie Watkins on my team who plays for Aston Villa, I can watch that game of football and I can look at it. I can look at it and be like, Ollie Watkins has scored a goal. I'm celebrating. I know I've scored points on fantasy, right? There's no how's he going to do type thing. There's no like reveal as such. Similarly, if I watch CSGO and I've got Zywoo on my fantasy team, I'm like, Zywoo is 30 for 10. This is going to go pretty well in fantasy, right? Message how it was in stage 1 in admin. Let me have a look. I'll bring this up on stream. The main admin channel. Oh, okay. Oh, these are like the stats from, this is from stage 1 last year, right? Like top players, top tank players. Yeah, and this feels a bit more satisfying. And I know it's like, again, supports, but there's like some really big, like a fucking 58, you know? There's like a crazy one in here. This is actually almost, I swear Ariel would have been playing,
All my spare bits. Give me DPS to play.
Thank you, Sacrifice 74. Play May, mate. May is broken right now. Get some May going. Yeah, because I was thinking, like, do we boost the pluses or do we reduce the negatives? And I was like, if we do both, the scores will maybe just balloon. But yeah, appreciate it, Sacrifice. Get some May going. But yeah, if we do both, we maybe just balloon the scores like to silly numbers. But like in this kind of range feels about right. Thanks for the boosted maze, guys. Obviously, it's not the full range, but yeah. Oh, second and third are supports. Oh yeah, good point, actually, yeah. It's actually main support scoring just equally as well, if not maybe slightly better on average. At least average of a top 5. I'll keep it to myself, Sacrifice. Just between you and me, mate. Oh, that's an interesting idea, actually, Stray Error. Give a base point for like every time. If you play a map, you get a point. And then if your player is on the bench and doesn't play, they just get 0 points. But even if you play all the points and all the maps and you lose 3, you still get 3. Is there a plan for special abilities? Nothing concrete. Nothing that will happen in stage 2, for example, in like the current iteration. But for the future, yes. We had captain in a couple of our test versions, and it was kind of like the standard captain rule, where it's just your captain scores double. But what it became was essentially, it all just came down to the captain decision, right? If you got the captain decision right, you can fuck everything else up, and you just get hard carried. So double score feels a little bit too powerful, but we were thinking just a smaller multiplier, essentially, just like a 1.5 or something captain choice. Because there's lots of different directions we can go, right? We could have the captain multiplier for 1.5. 2 times strong for 5 and 7, yeah. So like some of the like I guess bigger ideas we've had is like chips like that, putting coaches in, because the football fantasy did it this season, where you could spend some of your budget once a season to sign a manager for a couple of weeks. And then that manager basically serves as an extra player and scores points based on the team's results. You know, if they win a game, they get a certain amount of points. If they win a game that they were the underdogs in, they get even more points, you know? So we could have like a coach chip or something as well. Thinking some gimmick ones like points for environmental kills or something. Yeah, I guess we could take a little look at like what we have with as well. For Chris chip slingshot, exactly. What else was I thinking? Oh yeah, I guess this is like a slight different from the chips, but even just something that's like just having 6 players or something. like a higher budget overall, 6 players, and you have to choose a starting lineup every week. You get a starting 5, you know? The problem is, how does subs work? Because it's role by role as well, which kind of fucks it, you know? Like in fantasy football, you get 4 subs. So you always have 1 sub goalkeeper. You can change formation a little bit. But ours is fixed roles, right? Because what's the point of having a 6-person roster if your 6th person can only be one of those roles? No more Korea, no. No more Korea. VODs will be up on like my Twitch and YouTube as well, though. I've not got the individual match VODs up yet, but the big one is there on my main channel. What's it? Yeah, the subs won't work in this unless we had like a really big roster. Also, a 5-person roster was just enough budget. That's very esports. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're LA Valiant in this, every penny. I had the idea of reaching out some of the FPL creators to ask them for ideas of what they wished FPL would do differently to see if we could use it. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what else does FPL do, or like other fantasy versions do in terms of chips? There's the free hit chip, where you can basically change your entire team for 1 week, but you get your old, it only lasts for a week. So you can completely redo your roster with your fresh budget, but then afterwards you just get your roster back. That's probably, I don't know, that probably sounds like one of the more complicated ones to make work from a technical standpoint, maybe for you, Toby. Obviously, something like a wild card. Wild card in fantasy football is where you just get unlimited free transfers or something. It's doable. Yeah. It's also quite a messy one. I think the problem is what I want to be cautious of with chips as well is you have to remember in fantasy football, you get 2 wild cards as chips. You got the assistant chip, the triple captain, and the bench boost. So 5 chips, right? And 5 chips for a 38-week competition or a 38-round competition. So that's actually very few chips per round. Then we're going to run what? Like including playoffs, like 8 weeks? 9 weeks? I think we just go down to 1 transfer per week and it can roll over to allow 2 per week. Maybe. The problem is when it's like 1 transfer per week, I feel like you just get stuck a little bit in, oh, I just have to keep changing the same player, right? You know what I mean? Like because if you have 1 transfer, all you can really do is trade like for like, right? Or you have to do it over 2 weeks. So I trade an expensive player for a cheaper player in one role, so I can get a more expensive player in another role. Whereas with the two transfers, you can do that swap, right? Like I can sell Jwoo for a cheaper DPS and get a more expensive tank. And with 6 weeks, it means you only get, 2, basically. One thing that I actually would be more interested in is the thing that fantasy football does is you get 1 free transfer, right? And you can stack them up as well. So I think the idea of stacking transfers, I'm not against either. But I wonder how it would feel as well to just have the same thing, where you can have more than 2 transfers if you want, but for every transfer you go over your weekly limit, there's a point penalty. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd probably give us a good indication maybe of like active users as well. Because right, same as like fantasy football, 11.5 million signed up, but how many people of those people played through all 38 weeks? How many of them played and made transfers through half of the season? No, I think if you don't use for transfer, I wouldn't want to give you a point reward, but I think the idea of rolling it over, I'm probably more interested in, you know? So you could like use one but save 3 or something. You've really got to get the point penalty down for those extra transfers, though. Yeah. Yeah. Because the point penalty, you want it to feel like off-putting, right? Like you don't just want it to be the sort of thing where people just cop it all the time because it's free. Yeah. Like you want it to be possible, as in it can be worth it, but you need your player to pop off, right? So it's like you can do it if you want, but only if you're like you got to really, really invest. But I don't know what that number would be, and obviously you got to bear in mind if we're going to change the scoring as well, and that number's going to like, yeah, I was thinking -10 as well, but it depends what our like if we update the scoring for stage 3. It depends what that looks like as well. Because obviously that number's going to kind of change, you know? -10 plus 50% scoring for the first week. That feels too much. We mean 50% of that player's individual scoring? No, I feel like I like the idea of it just being a flat fee more. I feel like that's just easier interpretation-wise. You know? Like, I think there's like a simplicity is key type thing, you know? Easier to understand as hard as nail, yeah. Yeah, what's an interesting question as well, you know some of the scores we were looking at last year, how much of that score differential, do you remember what meta that screenshot was from? I guess what I'm trying to get to the bottom of effectively is, does the meta, as the meta just become more trade heavy and therefore teams are just scoring lower, and if we went back over to a slower meta, or I guess less tradey meta, that was the Esports World Cup qualifiers. Wait, hold on. Screams RAM. So, what are we thinking? How have I put these in different places? What fraud? Like stage 2, Basic Masters Season 1. Do I have that here? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Fuck. June 23rd. This is September. Oh, wait, no. Oh, we jump, maybe? Face It League. Okay, yes. Oh, yeah, I've missed stage 3, that's why. Mauga is the answer to your question. Mauga, RAM. Lots of RAM, some Sigma. Yeah. Bits of Winston, but we're still talking very much mostly like Brawl Mirrors. Like Bap Lucio is outrageously popular in all of these. Bap Lucio, Kiri Lucio type thing. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a hard. Yeah, I agree. There's a hard thing to get right, because I think as well, if we have 2 transfers and we allow them to roll over, that's still a lot to work with, right? I think the idea, you know, have the improvements or the changes we make, hopefully to work out to be improvements, should all be geared towards improving the player experience. You know, like give them more tactical options without making anything broken. Give them more ways to play the game or more options in terms of how they approach, right? Which is why I like the idea of rolling over transfers. Now, you know, how many people have been talking about it and talking about their 6-week plan, you know? So now you can talk about rolling over transfers, you have more options to make more complicated 6-week plans. If you have the captain thing, that becomes again like a decision making of like, where is my captain going, which role's scoring more, you know? Like all of those things feel like really good wins in terms of easy to understand for the user, impactful on the result, and impact on the result controlled by the user. Okay. I've probably yapped enough though. I think it's probably time for me to get some rest. I enjoyed this though. It's a useful thing to talk about with out loud, just to get like think through. So let me find someone to raid, and I'll love you, and I'll leave you. I'm going to end the YouTube stream now as well, if anyone is still lurking over there.